So we're recording. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, I can send you the transcript that is on YouTube, and you can simply make corrections where it hasn't, got it exactly right. But I don't have to spend all that time transcribing because YouTube does it for us. Yay!
That's yeah. Great.
So
That's great for us.
I sent you some articles from this.
Educational action research. Yeah.
Yeah, and I read them and I took some quotes out of them that I thought you could use.
Okay. Thank you.
And there's one actually very good one in there on mentoring that we can use in our article.
Okay. Hmm.
So tell me what's going on these days.
I have sent one email to you. I have sent one file. You can open that and we can talk on that.
Oh, okay.
Will you? Mm, I'm also trying to get it. Yes. Yeah, I got it. Have you?
Just a minute.
Just before I begin to talk with you, I have sent you.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah.
Just downloading. Just give me a minute. Okay. All right, I got her.
Yes.
So, wow.
May I share about it?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, this this piece I have tried to make this in a poetry form. Actually, these days I have been brainstorming my whole uh, things how I can organize in particular manner. Then I have drawn few figures, some like I wrote some words, scribble few things, and then I thought to share this with my class, participatory action research class, and there we have a session of having reflection before the class. Like as soon as class begin, we have art based reflection as I have shared with you, and I thought to go recite this poem for them so that we can have a kind of reflection in the form of poem. And in fact this is the collection of my confusions. That way I presented in my class, and at the same time in PhD colloquium, my supervisor he was asking me what have you been doing these days, and I shared this poem with him as well. So the same thing is working for three different locations. So I want to share this, and it has given me a kind of framework to work to go on with this. So this is in the form of poetry, uh, and at the same time I'll explain what I have written. I try to explain you and also also recite. I don't know whether the topic is appropriate or not. Just I kept in this way because the class is a methodology class, so I thought to why not to give that title to make it more like to connect with the methodology. So that now I'm going to tell you a triangular love story, the story of integral participatory worldview. This integral and participatory, this may not be there, or I am trying to find somewhere in between there. whole to parts and parts to whole, like my way of working, dot, or for growth as I'm working with professional development. And this dot has meaning within it, and I'm exploring more on it these days as well. When I see this dot through my telescopic view, like with the third eye, like I'm trying to link with the third eye of God, let's say, like presented Mahabharata, our epic, which is written by Ganesha, one of the gods, and he has continuously written for 3 years. Some of one of the sages recited it, and Ganesha he wrote it for continuously in the narrative poetic form. And I have also tried to use in the narrative poetic form this, and I'm trying to write in the performative way. So I brought these metaphors here, like presented Mahabharata by Ganesha continuously for 3 years. And this is also relevant, like my research went for 3 years, so I can link with this. This dot on the black space, like the divine light, enlighten the darkness. This dot on the white space, like the black hole. Like I try to bring both spiritual perspective and also the scientific way of looking into the same dot. Swallowed many stories of teacher about past, present, future. That means my research may not include all the stories or story of past, present, and future of all the teachers. Just a tiny, very short narrative will be there. I mean to say this. When I see closer and closer to it, it grows, that dot grows to zero. Zero has its also own meaning. Grows to circle, that means cycle, a participative action research cycle, and grows to this image. I have brought this from that perspective, like we have imaginary 7 chakras in our body, and my main I'm working with the collaboration, and collaboration is the heart chakra, and it has within that this image is there. So these two triangles intersect there, and the one triangle which is pointing towards, that is, it looks like a hierarchical division of Maslow's needs, and also the affective dimension also it goes to up like pyramid form, and another triangle goes down. That means I wanted to bring like uh, everything is just looked from that perspective, like the lower so-called lower dimensions are considered uh, um, considered as inferior and not much important, and they are also equally important, and they balance the whole. I mean, I have that kind of thing. So I may bring like affective dimension, like the part of the like iceberg, tip of the iceberg, and below like that image, and I may discuss it differently. And what happens is when it moves, it forms a cycle. So there the particular this image in the heart chakra lies in the form of cycle around this hexagon. We may call it hexagon, and I need to explore more on it to mathematics teacher, so he or she will be explaining more on it what actually it is. But when I see it, it looks balanced, and I can link with this balance, and I can link with the hierarchical needs of the teacher, and affective and other dimension there in the same image. So this is main logo of my thesis, and which I can bring so many things. This is dynamic, unique unison of triangles move in circles in plan, action, reflection. Like the triangle, as I said, like my title, like I have started in the beginning, triangular love story means 3, unison of 3. So plan, action, reflection. Also in Now you can see so many confusion, what confusions I had in the form of triangle. Ontology, epistemology, axiology, interpretivism, criticalism, postmodernism. Like I want to look into my thesis in multi-paradigmatic way. So I want to bring all these three together. Satchit Anand, inquisitiveness, consciousness, blissfulness. Propositional, experiential, representational. Karma, bhakti, gyan. Strength, weakness, possibility. Eastern, Western, indigenous. I, we, all of us. Egocentric, ectocentric, old-centric. Sattva, rajas, tamas. Narad, Parbati, Shiva. These are three gods, and um, Narad is compared with the interpretivism, because what does Narad does is he comes from the let's say the kingdom of God, and look into the to the world and reports and describe the things like the interpretivist. And Parvati, what does she do is she comes to the this world, and she sees the problem and difficulties here. She reports and she wants some kind of changes or some solution for the problems of the people of the world. And Shiv is one who is there to find the solution and help the being. So these images can be linked with the interpretivism, criticalism, and postmodernism. And at the same time, Shiva is linked with postmodern god, because his nature is compared with Dionysian and Apollonian, all romantic and at the same time so Apollonian and Dionysian quality he has. Next is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. One is referred as destroyer, like deconstructionist. One is Brahma is creator, and another is Vishnu is all like look after the things like management. So these can be also linked with three. Then narrative, dramatic, poetry, body, mind, heart, audio, visual, textual, means like you can guess like what I'm thinking about it to write it. Teacher, facilitator, policy developer, stakeholder, I have also mentioned here. God, guru, the rest. Satyam, Sivam, Sundaram, and this is also linked with Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Mediator, listener, analyzer. Then space like a harmonious space, like when it moves in a circle at the center, or it forms a space in the circular space, that it forms a space. So uh, I imagine my positionality, or I'm talking about the creating a space. So space is one major component there. A harmonious space, thread like, which can join or interlink or connect. Rite of passage, and this is also related to yoga, and this talks about uh, rite of passage means all the rituals and the ceremonies which we perform in our passage of life, like that means in from till birth to the end there are so many rituals we have to perform. So process like, dash like, slash like, of living love, living cycle, living in out, with my own living inquiry, my own living theory, to know the past, purify inner world and outer practices in the present, and prepare for future. Envisioning, living education, living curriculum, living pedagogy, living lesson plan.
Wow.
This is this is my
Wow, there's so much to take in, Parvati. Honestly, there's so much in there. Wow. You must have got the
so
same response from the others, eh?
yeah, they are quite like I don't know how they have fared, but these are the things which I was scribbling everywhere and try to make it just note down and make it a form, like what I'm doing, and what are the things. So like at the end, my supervisor told, if you just explain this, you will develop 600 pages thesis. Just you start writing, he has asked with me, and I'm
At least. Wow, that's great. Wow. It's
this is
it's really got a lot in there. I think.
Well, mm, at last, like these three, four things, I have been thinking like after this, living education, living curriculum, and living lesson plan. I maybe focus with these three things, and as I have been writing in the paper and in the like I have been discussing so many things directly linking to the teachers, but this time in the thesis I think I need to develop framework. I need to have my design, how I have a thought, how did I work, so that teachers and policymaker they can have a look and can plan something in in different way, like this approach, school based approach which I have worked uh, in our context. All the trainings teacher programs they are not in school based, they are not school based off site school, and teachers have to go to the like resource centers, and they don't have the culture of having their continuous professional development within the school. So policy also they have tried to have a kind of need based professional development, but they could not continue that, and later on they just moved back and have the followed the same, almost same, although they call it need based professional development, but they have to be there in the resource centers for the training and all. And my approach, school based approach, and which I develop, if I have particular framework so that they may understand differently. In the beginning, I thought to show the personal transformation and the whole collective transformation of the teachers, but later on I have thought like, why not to develop framework so that I can have a kind of design for everyone who can have a look and go for that in some of the parts of the country. So three things I have been looking into: living education, living curriculum, and living lesson plan or living class. I may change it to living class also. It can be class includes teacher, lesson plan, pedagogy, and teacher as well. So three: living education, living curriculum, and then living class. So it may be, I think. So this is my another thought after this sharing.
Well, I mean, I think that this will, you've got a beginning on it, and it will probably change as you do your thinking and your writing. I mean, you may see that this is not where it ends up being, but what started, because I think that so much within each of these words and each of these lines that it may evolve as you're writing, right?
Yes.
So that image that you had for your metaphor, should that be in here too?
Sorry.
The metaphor, the image that you shared last time, should that be in here too?
Here in this framework, uh, that that looks more. It is definitely, it talks about balance.
Yeah.
And for the growth, balance is like how I have looking into growth is when I move to the cycle, it is self-sustain concept, self-sustain. So this that image which I have brought of two triangles intersecting triangle, it has also the concept of balancing. So that image and this image has some kind of similar meaning with it. So balance is important. And if there is balance, like for example, we all have good quality as bad quality, let's say, in very simple form, and we know, we are like we know how to be bad, or what is bad, or how can we be bad, we know that, but we try not to be bad. We have that kind of sense, like we balance it, we know that we can be so much bad. We try to bring balance within ourselves, like this. We, everyone, in all the aspects of life, there are like darkness and brightness. So the point is, if we balance, then it is self sustained. We know we should not be looking into the other things, like yesterday we talk about post humanistic concept or idea, and it is also more into my research, like uh, if we have self-sustained idea, then we won't be greedy, we won't be dependent, we won't be accumulator of so many things, unnecessary things within us, and within us or in our home, and we can be good to ourselves and to other as well. So that can be brought in this also. So those images are for balancing, and this cycle is very much uh, it's it has so many qualities I have mentioned here. It's a dynamic, and like it is in the process, and it is in balance form. Everything, like it moves on and off. So I think
But you don't mention
from
that in here.
this balancing, I haven't included that balance. Like three means I mentioned here, I haven't marked the circle there. Circle shows the balance, and it shows the continuity and sustainability,
Okay.
and there so many things comes within this image of intersecting triangles there. If required, then I can bring so many, like five elements of earth we can bring here: air, water, wind, and these things, and how they balance and feed with each other. They feed and also destroy. Now yesterday only I looked into the images and found, like, we have five elements, and when the two triangles intersect, those five elements, they feed with each other, and also they destroyed each other, and they create the balance. If you know how to balance, then automatically it will be in the continuous form. So many things can be brought within this uh, metaphor.
And the gender issues too, right?
Yes, it's about balancing, and balance is there. It's not, I'm not off beat with that concept. I'm talking about balance, and to have, like, equality is always there. Equality in a sense of balancing. I have also that mentioned there. It means equality means balancing. So yoga is brought in that aspect, and yoga means unison. Yoga means balancing two aspects of life, two sides. So it comes within it.
Well, so what now?
Uh, Today morning, like yesterday, I have got email from Ejos, and I have got three reviewers comment on my paper, and today I just able to open and just scroll down the comments of the paper. Just I scroll down, and there are few things I need to consider, and I may take some time to go through all to improve it, and hope the main still Swarup has also raised the issue of clarification of Sachit Anand, that terminology, and asks me look into very seriously, and if I just take it very lightly or make it very, that won't be uh, that won't be like what we call justice to the word itself. So I should be careful to make it clear to that particular term. And so I need to be careful on it, how I explain that terminology in defining love state, or let's say my definition of love within that around. I'll look into that again, and she asked if I can, if you need help, I'm ready to help you, she has said. And if requires about to clarification on that, I may ask whether further resources, so she may have some kind of idea relating to that, because she has also dealt with that issue, and she must have the references of this Eastern wisdom tradition. So she may, but I haven't like asked with her anything. First, I'll look into myself, and I may take some days to go through that. I haven't, just I scrolled down and found some of the comments and just kept that.
And how can I help?
I will see and I will let you know, because let me try myself first. How can I move on with that?
Okay. Well, you know that I'm here to help you if you need it.
Yeah, sure, definitely I will. I will be. So that I wanted to share this poem with you. This is all going on, and it may give uh, a kind of sense, like how I am working with my writing process, and why I'm not very clear to living theory methodology. And somewhere I am here again. Uh, I think you have seen uh, like whole picture, and can say my living theory methodology, but still uh, I know it is here, but it's not visible. The moment I will see, then I'll be amazed to myself.
You will. And you will see it. I know you will. I mean, you are living it is what you're doing. I mean, your living love is the value, and collaboration is another really important value for you that you use to um, explain the nature of your influence. I mean, that's what you do every day. That is the essence of living theory.
Next thing, I'm looking into my name, origin of my name, and what does it mean, uh, and what are the linkages with my um, all those family names and other things. Like I asked in the paper also, I asked, I began with who am I, um, and I'm even exploring more on it to know myself. And I may bring, like I'm thinking I will write the first section, or first very in the beginning I'll be writing who am I, explaining my name and everything, so they are all interconnected with what I'm doing and why I'm doing here. I'm trying to bring that also, that makes more meaningful to me, and let's see, that will be help me to reflect as well.
Definitely.
And I found what I'm talking about, the way I'm talking about this is uh, life, as I'm talking about living education, living curriculum, living classroom, then I'm definitely talking about living life, life and living in the continuous form. And how am I living? Since I am here in this existence, and why am I living since then? What is making me living? What is there? What is life? And um, what is the energy that makes me move on? and that energy are defined differently. Like life is also defined as energy, and there are so many things. Like life is also defined as light. Uh, so I'm trying to get into these things first, like me myself linking with my life living and all the process, and I need to be very careful to my living theory methodology as well, living theory, living educational theory as well, and I may link with that my existence to the research in the whole, as not as the as different two things, but as a whole, one as one. So that oneness is, I'm looking into oneness in very short form.
Excuse me for a minute.
So I ordered the stuff online, the words.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Well, you've got a lot to write about, Parbati. It's pretty exciting. I mean, you just, as you articulated, it's starting to take shape, certainly in my understanding, and I think in yours as well. Right?
Yes, yes, and I want to. Uh, I feel I need to now start writing, so that I may not be lost with all these fancy words and ideas, and I may end up with no, it doesn't work, and just it may collapse. So I think I need to, at least I need to start writing and do this. So I'm thinking to uh, look into the paper and address the comments. It may take a little time to move on with that.
Well, don't worry about the editing issues. When you're ready, I can help you with my British English eyes.
Great.
Get the ideas down. That's the important part.
Yeah.
So, I'll send you the transcript of the last two conversations we've had. As I say, they aren't perfect, and sometimes the machine doesn't hear the words clearly, so you have to do a double check on them. But it's that transcription has taken me a lot of time, and this is much better, even if you have to correct it. At least most of it's there. So I don't know why it's not on your machine, because it would be a useful tool for you.
Yeah, I will try to find this and try to set it if possible. I will look into this.
Oh, it should be right underneath the picture, not on the picture, under the picture, 3 dots, and there's 3 options. One says report, one says translation or transcription, and one says translation. So, because it's a wonderful tool.
I will try to find.
Okay. Okay. This article that is in this educational action research on mentoring, I've only kind of been through it quickly, but there's certainly some really good references in there, and some good findings from this woman who wrote it. She is from Australia. Her name is Julie Nyanjom, and she's actually in the School of Business and Law.
Oh.
So anyway, and she talks about mentoring as a co-learning environment. So, one of the things you do for me is you kind of get me interested in, our topics. So one of them has been mentoring. One of them is participatory action research, collaborative action research. So, I mean, I've kind of have a different lens when I'm reading things now because of our conversations. So I just want to thank you for that. And the authentic dissertation, it's funny, we were talking about the same book, only you have it, online. So I know this
Oh,
particular book.
wow.
Okay, so do you want to keep meeting on Tuesdays?
Yes, yeah, we will continue. I may be working on the paper and I may uh, communicate with you in mail by then.
So do you know that there are a couple of typos in your poem? Do you know that? Like indigenous is spelt wrong. Do you know that?
Sorry?
Indigenous, for example, is spelt wrong.
Yeah, some are, yes, I can see them. Yeah.
And blissfulness, I think it only has one L. So I'm just making a suggestion that before you share it again, you might want to make a couple of corrections.
Okay.
And I really think that visual should go with it. I mean, those two pieces together really seem to kind of fit. And of course, I'm so visual that for me, I'm almost seeing it, even though it's not there.
Yeah.
So is everything okay in your life?
Yes, yeah, everything is fine.
It's just, it's an interesting time in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. So everyone is almost everyone is panic in the educational sector. Schools are not they are not open, and even university classes are not running. And this is the new academic session here, just began, and all seem worried. And there are so many webinars, discussion, online meetings going on, and they are discussing on the issues and just worried panic on it. So this situation is not is uh, different, completely different.
Yeah. Well, in Canada, the number of cases is leveled off. So, where they were having more and more every day, it's now kind of flatlined. And so some of the provinces are starting to let people do a few more things. But everybody, it sounds like everybody's going to be wearing face masks if they're going out
Mm.
and trying to keep that social distance so that
Mm.
we protect the vulnerable, protect the ones that, could die from disease and having. And I mean, I'm in the age group where I'm vulnerable too. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense to take these chances, but I'm so happy to be able to get outside these days. Oh, work in my garden, and I'm making a pond in my garden. So that's my
Okay.
latest project, is to have a little pond with fish in it.
You'll have good time. And I have a question, like how many days, how long may I take to go revisit the paper? So usually,
Well, their deadline for publication is July, so they will be wanting to get it back. I would say, within the month. They probably don't want it to go into June, but you probably have. I would say I would try to have a response in at least a couple of weeks.
okay, I'll try by 2 weeks. I'll try to address all. Let's
Well,
see.
let me know if you want me to have another look at it. I'm really willing to do that. So just,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be perfect.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
As you know, you got a perfectionist streak, right?
Yeah, me too. I'm not perfectionist. I never see for perfection. I try to find some perfection in a mess.
Well, there's a good place to be. I can use that line.
I just shared this poem to you to share my confusion. Like it's not the perfect piece. Like this is the way how I'm going to do. Just sharing how it is going on. So that's the point
Well, I
anyway.
think it's a pretty lovely piece of work. You may not think it's perfect, but it certainly is pretty wonderful. I think you've done an excellent job there.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll see you next Tuesday, same time, and
Yeah.
send me anything you have in the meantime.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Lovely to see you. Take
Yeah.
care.
Yes. Take care. You too. Take care. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye bye.